Good evening, and welcome to the Happy Camp Complex public meeting for September 6th. My name is Nathan Judy, Public Information Officer for California Interagency Incident Management Team 5. This evening we'll be taking questions online on our chat. We'll be able to get to those questions during the meeting and afterwards if we have time. Bear in mind that we will be briefing our troops after this meeting at 6 o'clock. So we want to make sure we have our folks out back into the field to brief those troops in time. So with that, I'm going to bring up our first speaker, which is Don Fergulia, our Operations Section Chief.
All right, thanks, Nathan. So today on the fires, we had another good day, successful day. We're going to start down here on the south end, as we always do, down on the Elliott fire. So today the Elliott fire was holding really well along Highway 96. No issues, no concerns there. Got a flight today into Dillon Creek and around the top, and that was all looking really good. Dillon Creek's holding quite well down there. Minimal heat showing. As we come around the top up there, we did have a couple of hotshot crews working just this one little piece of heat as it's trying to back down into the Dillon Creek confluence. Unfortunately, right at about 1500 today, some fires to the south of us stood up and exhibited some fire growth, and so we did have to pull everybody back to a safe place. Plan for continued work in there in the coming days. The success to talk about, though, on Elliott is what we've done up here on the north end. That's holding really well in keeping this fire from marching up the drainage into Clear Creek and eventually Happy Camp. Moving over to the U-Fish fire today, another good successful day. We were actually able to introduce a little bit of fire here where we're trying to bring this down into the Highway 96, right? We like to hold fires on roads and rivers, so we like rivers and roads, and we got both of them down there. So to that end, we're slowly bringing good fire along, bringing it down into this catcher's mitt down here, and we're trying to hold Highway 96, and we're pretty sure we'll be successful doing that. As you come up to the north and to the east, again, for the protection of Happy Camp, we're looking really good. This line is solid. It's mopped up. Good depth there from the fire, and we don't expect it to go any farther to the north and to the east. Moving around to the fires we've been talking about for the last 21 days that I've been here, man, we've made some really good progress over here on the east side of the complex. Den fire, head fire, Scott fire, lake fire, all contained and looking good. Got a flight in here today as well. Didn't see any smoke showing on any of these fires on this side of the complex. Down to the Hancock fire in Woolly Creek. This one presents some challenges operationally for those of us that have seen it and have been into Woolly Creek. You know that it's probably the steepest and nastiest piece of the Klamath that we have. But we're gaining ground out there, right? We're holding it on Woolly Creek here on this end. We're holding it in Hancock Creek on this end. A couple of hotshot crews, 7 smoke jumpers, you know, the best of the best out there, going slowly, staying safe, but also putting fire's edge out, and they're being really successful doing that. So Hancock fire, some days to come out there, but that is looking pretty good. The flight today showed very little smoke. So anyway, with that, that's your operational update, and I'm going to turn it over to the incident meteorologist, Tom Wright.
Good evening. So I'm an incident meteorologist. I'm out of the Medford Weather Office, so kind of local. I was on a couple fires in the area, so familiar with the area. And I just wanted to explain, usually in public meetings, I start off with a little explanation of what I'm doing here. So I'm here for 3 basic reasons. First one is safety. So I'm very concerned about the safety of the firefighters and the public in the area, so we don't want any weather to sneak up on people, so thunderstorms or wind shifts, lightning and so forth, so I'm watching out for that constantly. The second one is I'm obviously here to produce forecasts for their tactical operations, so they need to figure out how they're going to fight the fire, and weather's a big part of that. And then third, as you know, if you go around the corner, the weather changes, so I'm here to observe the weather in the area and try to dial that in. So, to the weather, we had basically very warm, dry conditions today. We usually have west winds in the area, and we're having that again today. And I'm going to go over here to my weather matrix. This is a chart that we use in fire weather, and I'll just explain it real quickly. It's a color-coded chart, and so this is based on one of the local RAWS stations, which is a automated station that gives us weather information. And so we've correlated that with fire burning conditions, and so as you might imagine, red is bad and green is good and yellow is somewhere in between. So the good thing about this, you don't even have to know what the numbers mean. You don't even have to be able to see the numbers, but you can tell which days are good and which days are bad. And while we have a lot of red on the map here, really the weather isn't changing much over the course of the next week. It's just slowly edging up above these critical thresholds. So while it looks like there's a big change coming, it really isn't as dramatic as it appears based on those colors. But we are going to see those typical conditions you have here in this area, western Siskiyou conditions for the next week or so, with just a gradual uptick toward warmer and drier weather, continued westerly winds, and fortunately no big weather changes to worry about. So that's all I've got. I'll be happy to answer questions afterwards. I'm going to pass it over to Garrett Hazelton, our fire behavior analyst.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Garrett Hazelton. I'm the fire behavior analyst for this incident. So what my role is to take what Don in operations is bringing intel from the field, work with Tom, our incident meteorologist, and try to blend those together to give some forecasts and predictions of what might happen over the fire. So one of my primary roles is to use history and weather information to try to predict where fire spread's going to be. So we don't see any future fire spread over here on the east side of the fire. There may still be some lingering smoke, some interior things, but no real major threats to the line. Same thing goes with the Scott and the lake. As we come over here to the U-Fish fire and we look at the north end here, operations was talking about putting a little fire on the ground. That was a precision and targeted approach, because the natural fire spread, if we did nothing, this fire wouldn't naturally back down there. So for firefighter safety and span of having things in our favor, we just basically help that along in the way we want it to go. The same thing over here on the south side of the U-Fish, the same tactics and strategy of just kind of helping Mother Nature do what it naturally wants to do, so that way we can fight the fire on our terms. As we come over here to the Elliott fire, again, it's that same briefing, that same style that we're using. It's just slowly helping it and managing it. This area along Dillon Creek here has been very, very beneficial to us, as it's down in the high moistures and it's really slowing some fire spread. When we look down here at the Hancock, you guys are all familiar with the fire history out here. 3 sides of this were actually blocked in by recent fire scars, and the only little bit of heat we're seeing is on this outside edge here, and happy to report those guys are getting in there and working hard on it. So thank you for your time and attention. Pass it over to Brian Shoshone, Director of Siskiyou County of Emergency Service.
All right, thank you. Hey, I want to say thank you for joining us out there, Siskiyou County. So a couple things to really talk about tonight, pretty quick. Genesis Protect, you also may have heard that as Zone Haven. You did see some downgrades today of our orders to warnings, and then our warnings were lifted, so that map is starting to look really good, starting to look like Siskiyou County again. So with that, a couple things to remember. Our shelters have closed. However, if we need anything, do not hesitate to reach out to Siskiyou County OES or the EOC. With that, our animal shelters have also closed. And to make that quick plug, 2 dogs are left in the shelter, so we want to make sure that those guys get to go home as well. If not, they'll be up for adoption through Rescue Ranch. Let me see what else we have. So with that, it is as this head fire is getting wrapped up, and we do have some structure loss. So there has been 7 structures lost on that, and I want to really reach out to the folks out there that have lost or have been affected by this fire. So we do have some resources, because now we're starting the recovery process. And one of the things I really want to talk about is 211. So NorCal 211. You can also go to that website. You can call 211 or 211 Siskiyou is what I want to say. So you go to that. There's going to be some great resources for you through United Way and through Red Cross and any of the Northern California Catholic Social Services. So really good resources to use. That 211 NorCal, again, get on that website or call 211. They're there to help and really start that recovery process. So we're moving to recovery. Siskiyou County OES will be here for you to help you with that process. And that's really all I have this evening. Until next time, so I'm Brian Shoshone, and ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Smith.
Thanks, Brian. Rachel Smith, I'm the Forest Supervisor of the Klamath National Forest. It has been a hard few weeks since this fire siege began. We had a number of fires that started from the lightning events starting on the 15th of August, and unfortunately, a number of them got a toehold in Siskiyou County. 13 of them eventually became the Happy Camp complex, and in the first couple of hours, we saw loss of life, and we experienced loss of property. So that's been with us the entire time. Thanks to the grit and determination of our initial attack responders, we really got a good toehold on a lot of these fires. But the really good news is we got Incident Management Team 5, who has a lot of experience in the North State, as well as many North State locals who were able to come out here and help us. And they've made incredible progress over the last 3 weeks. And this is unusual. They've been here for 21 days. They agreed to extend because they know exactly how important their role here in Siskiyou County was. And I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to them. Today is day 21 for them. So after 21 days of really hard work, they're going to have a few days of R&R, and they'll get to spend some time with their family. So thank you to Team 5, and thank you to IC Dustin Mueller. It's been really incredible over the last few weeks. They've made incredible progress. You'll know that just with all the precipitation that we've received across the forest, we're continuing to see impacts with our forest roads. We're doing all the work that we can, and you may have seen some of the forest road crews up on Grayback Road. We're starting to see additional concerns out there. So as our forest engineers and the folks go out there to do the assessments, please be wary, drive with care, and keep an eye out for folks that are working alongside the road, whether they're Forest Service or Caltrans or others. We do have a forest closure in place. Over the last couple of days, I've been able to shrink it again, so I removed a few areas. I know this is hunting season, and we are doing our very best to shrink the closure as soon as we can, and know that we are reassessing that literally on a day-by-day basis. I want to get the forest open and back to you as soon as safely possible. Thank you, and have a safe night. I'm introducing IC Dustin Mueller.
All right, good evening, folks. So, as mentioned, day 21 is here and upon us, and as I reflect back on day one, and quite a big difference between the situation, what we were on day one, what you guys were all dealing with out there, and where we are now. So I reflect back on that and how we mobilized over 120 team members from the whole state of California for Rachel and her forest. Came up here, took command pretty rapidly to bring a calm to the chaos. And I think, it was a little rough at the start, information sharing, but we got resources in. We're the highest priority in the nation. Got the right resources in for the ground we have on the Klamath. So I reflect back, minimal injuries, all, minor injuries, no hospitalizations. So we're doing good. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your support. Another thing, with all the community meetings we had, the public meetings, these virtual meetings, a lot of my team has expressed their great gratitude for you guys, because all the support you gave, we felt like you guys were part of our team. A lot of, like myself and Don Fergulia, the operations, and Alex, the other operations chief, we've been here a lot over the years, 28 years in Northern California Forest Service itself. So we've met a lot of you over the years, and a lot of your suggestions that you gave us, we implemented. And a lot of that hard work went into 100% containment on the head fire, the den fire, Scott fire, all that stuff helped out. If you look at all the black right there, that means it is contained. But there's also fire line, control line, other points. Stop the threat to Happy Camp. It really stopped the houses down here along the Highway 96 corridors. That is really good work that we all put in, and you guys helped us with. So thank you. That's all I could say for Team 5. It is our last day. This will be the last time you see me for a long time, hopefully. I'd like to introduce Northern Rockies Team 2 Incident Commander Aaron Thompson. He'll get to speak to you in the next couple days, but right now that's the face on the video for you guys to look at. He comes with a high level of knowledge in California too. I've transferred command with him down on the Shasta Trinity on the 299 corridor before. He's done great work down there. He's done great work up here, so you guys will be seeing him. And I just want to welcome to the community. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate that. And that concludes the formal portion of our meeting this evening. Looking through the chat, we don't see any questions, so appreciate you joining us this evening. This will be the last virtual public meeting, unless something significant happens on the fire where they need to bring it back. But the team will be out in their communities. They'll be talking to you folks, and they'll be looking at doing, if they need to, public meetings within the communities themselves. So again, thank you from California Interagency Incident Management Team 5. Thank you very much, folks. Have a great evening.